Working on the water and being on the ocean, it might be complicated, but it's not confusing. When you're on the hill, it's confusing. Being on the water is not. It's peaceful. It's hard work, but when you're anchored up offshore and you're watching the sun go down to the west and a full moon come up in the east, there's not much better than that, especially when you're catching something. I'm Charlie Phillips. I own Phillips Seafood, Sapelo Sea Farms, and some snapper boats. That's what we do, aquaculture and commercial fish mostly. I've been here since probably 7th grade or something, and as old as I am, that's a long time. I was born and raised in Jessup, so I know how to pick tobacco and bale hay. My dad was half owner of a feed mill back then, and he ended up selling out his half and moved down here and bought a shrimp boat and started shrimping. And then I became labor on the back deck in the summer times when I wasn't in school. So I learned how to shrimp fish and then learned how to do other stuff. So I've always pretty much been on the water. Might be because I couldn't ever get anybody to offer me a job. So, I mean, people that work on the water, they need to get paid, but they do it because they really want to be on the water. And it's more of a way of life than just a job. It's changed over the years. There's not near as many shrimp boats as there used to be. The regulations have changed. And then we've got climate change, so we've got species moving from one area to another, generally north. So it's much, much harder. I didn't really want to be in the restaurant business, but I felt like it was a good way to teach people and showcase what we could do. My idea was bring stuff in off of my boats, let them sit, watch the river and the wildlife, and have some local seafood cooked, and then you could teach people, this is what you have if you take care of your environment. And you can have clams and oysters. There's a lot of stuff that we can have if we fish it sustainably and take care of our environment and pay attention to what we're putting in our yards. Say, even if you're in Atlanta, because if you put a bunch of pesticides and herbicides into your yard, you get a storm, it runs all that stuff in the storm drain, and guess what? It comes down the creeks, it hits the river, it hits the Omaha, and it's down here. So a lot of people just don't know, or they don't really think that far out. So if you really care about, the seafood and the environment, pay attention to what you're doing wherever you are, because all that water comes down here.